Is this thing on? How do you tell if this thing's on? I can't figure it out. Damn it. Why so serious? How do you do this again?
So how are y'all Titans fans feeling tonight? No, I'm feeling pretty good. So yeah, there's definitely been, as you guys know, a lot of news coming out in terms of the Titans. First thing I want to discuss is the obvious. I mean, Julio Jones, what I think he would bring, which a lot of people surprisingly aren't talking about this. I mean, people do talk about how Julio is A.J. Brown's idol growing up, and I mean how he seriously looks up to him. And obviously he's pushing it through the media. He's trying to get Julio to Tennessee. But just imagine how much better, guys, just imagine how much better A.J. Brown would play if Julio was there on the same team, lined up across from him. Not only that, he'd be lined up as the number one with Julio Jones, his idol, on the same team. I think he would honestly, he'd go nuts. I mean, because he'd be trying to impress his favorite player, the person he looks up to, and I mean, he'd have a field day on people. Especially Malcolm Butler in week 1. Anyways, that's besides the point. But yeah, I think Julio would bring a new dimension to this offense. I mean, because the trio of Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry, you don't even need tight ends. You can't stop that. I mean, because you can have two good corners. It doesn't matter. There's one of them's just going to get open at some point because you can't double team both of them, and they're gonna put some work in. One of them is going to go off for 100 yards because you got to focus on the other one, or vice versa. It would just be too good of an offense, and Julio Jones not having to be the number one would take a little bit of the weight and the pressure off him, because he's obviously been the number one on the Falcons. I mean, he's been injured a little bit recently. That's all right, but he's been the number one. So he's been their go-to. He's been their go-to guy. But yeah, in this offense, I surely think he could become a number two, and he would still be productive. He would still give us. I mean, I don't even know. It's hard to put it into an estimate, but maybe 800, 1,000 yards as a number two, and he'd still get us like 5 touchdowns, something like that. I mean, I think and just the threat of Julio Jones, just him being across from A.J. Brown, would just open it up for Derrick Henry even more. You can't stack 7 in the box if you have a number one and a number one receiver on the outsides. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, if we get him by June 3rd, I'm gonna be pretty excited myself. I mean, a lot of people are saying too, which I've seen around Titans, fan pages and whatnot. Oh, he's too old. He gets injured all the time. That is what that is. People have a right to their opinion. I understand that, but yeah, I don't think he'd be the number one in Tennessee. I think he'd be the number two. I think A.J. Brown's going to be 1A. He'll be 1B. And yeah, he'll just have a lighter load than he normally would with Atlanta, so he'd be able to last longer. I think he'd be more durable this season, just with the other weapons around him. And I mean, Ryan Tannehill too. I mean, y'all know he's a good quarterback. I mean, he's definitely come alive in the last couple seasons. And I think just with Julio Jones, I think he'd be even better. He'd take his game to a whole nother level. They're going to start the season off right. So yeah, I mean, they're going to win probably something like, I'm going to say 28-17. That's game 1. So game 2, going to Seattle. To be honest, it's going to be a fairly tough game. But I think the Titans got that game too. I think they're going to beat them probably something like 21-20. It's going to be a close game, but I think they're going to do a good enough job containing Russell Wilson, keeping him in the pocket, and they're going to be able to. I think the Titans secondary is going to get better this year. Even though we let Malcolm Butler go, I understand that. And Adoree Jackson. I still think they're going to have a better secondary because they were burnt toast last year. The defense in general was just not that great. I think they're going to become a unit with the preseason and the training camp. They're going to get better this year, and they're going to just have a better defense in general. I don't think they're going to be a top 5 secondary this year, but I think they'll still be maybe like top 15-ish, maybe around the middle point. So, I mean, I think they're going to do all right. I think they're going to have a better secondary. They're going to be able to contain them enough, keep them in the pocket. The secondary is going to be able to hold their own. And I think Derrick Henry's just going to break free this game. I think we're just going to win around 21-20. So game 3, we got the Colts in Nashville. Unfortunately, the Colts, they're pretty going to be really good this year. I think they have this game probably somewhere in the 24-17 range. I think they're going to get this game, even though it's in Tennessee. I understand that. I still think they're going to take the W. It's going to be rough. First loss of the season, but we're going to bounce back. Best believe that. So yeah, I think we're going to lose that one, but we'll come back alive. So Titans versus Jets. Really? So Titans are going to beat the Jets. Something like 38-14. Yeah, people say, oh, they got pieces. They got a few more weapons. Don't care. Titans are going to beat them. It's going to be kind of a blowout style win. I get people say don't overlook teams it's every Sunday, every other Sunday. I understand that, but yeah, Titans are going to beat the Jets. And then Titans versus Jags. Titans are beating the Jags. They're sweeping them again. Peace out, guys. I know they got Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer. Don't care. Titans are still going to run all over them. Derrick Henry's still going to run for 200 yards. It actually is going to be his first 200-yard game of the season. So yeah, I think they're going to beat the Jags. I think it's going to be a pretty much a blowout. I think they're going to win 35-10. To be honest with you. And then Bills Titans at Titans. And that's also a primetime game. So it's going to be tough. This game's going to be a really tough game for the Titans, but to be honest, I think, like I said before, the secondary is going to get better this year. The defense is going to be better in general. Just the additions they brought in, I think they're going to make the pass rush a little bit better. They aren't going to get nothing like 14 sacks. I think they're going to get more like at least 25 to 30 sacks at a minimum. So I think they're going to be able to get pressure on Josh Allen. I think their secondary is going to be able to contain their weapons. They have good weapons, so I mean they might be able to break a couple, but I think overall they're going to do a fairly good job of containing them, and I think they're going to win that game. It's going to be a close one, 28-24, Titans. All right, next up, guys, we got Chiefs at Titans. I know it's in Tennessee. I want to say the Titans are going to win, but I think unfortunately the Chiefs are going to be too high-powered of an offense for this game. I think they're going to win something like 38-31. We're going to be able to put up points with them. That's no problem, but I think they're just going to get the upper edge in the end, and they're going to win just regular season terms. They're going to just get the win in this one. It's going to be a close game, though, for sure. Next game, we got Titans at Colts. I think Titans are going to win in Indianapolis, just like Indianapolis won in Tennessee in my prediction earlier. I think Titans are going to come out. Danico Autry's going to have a big game. He's going to get a couple sacks. I think Derrick Henry's going to run for 150 or so in this one. Yeah, I think they're going to have an overall cohesive game. Offense and defense are going to be playing well. I think they're going to win something like 28-20 in this one. And then we got Titans at Rams. It's going to be a tough game. Rams obviously have like a top 3 defense. And I think it's going to show in this one. I think, unfortunately, the Rams are going to get this game. It's going to be, I think, a low-scoring game. Surprisingly, it's going to probably be like a Rams 21, Titans 14. Yeah, I think their defensive line is just going to get to Ryan Tannehill a couple times. Going to throw him off his game, and I think overall they're going to be able to contain Derrick Henry enough. I think Derrick Henry will still go for like 75 to 90 yards, but they'll be able to contain him enough, whereas he's not going to break the big one, here and there. I think he's going to be fairly well contained. So yeah, I think the Rams got that one, unfortunately. Next game is Saints at Titans. I think Titans got that one. They're going to beat them by a pretty sizable margin. 28-14 Titans. And then we get Texans at Titans. Texans, I don't even know what's going on with them. Who even knows who's on their team anymore? What's going on with Watson? The world might not know this year. But yeah, I think Titans got this one. Titans are cohesive. They're a unit. Texans are all kind of in shambles right now. I think Titans got this one probably 42-20. Gonna be a good one. And then Titans at Patriots. It's gonna be tough. This is another team that Julio Jones is looking at going to. I guess he wants to play with Cam Newton. And we're at Foxborough. It's going to be a tough game, especially if they got Julio. But let's just say they didn't. I think Titans are going to get that game. Probably, let's see, 24-20. Again, I think it's going to be a pretty close game in this one, but I think the Titans are going to come out on top. They're going to be able to bring pressure. Just the pieces they've acquired, they're definitely going to be able to get to the quarterback and throw him off his game. So yeah, I think the Titans got that one. And next is Jaguars at Titans. Like I said, it's going to be a sweep again. Derrick Henry's not going to run for 200 this game, but he will run for 160. So yeah, they're good. They're not going to be able to stop him. They haven't been able to. I don't see him doing it this year. He's going to have a big game. And they're just not going to be able to stop the Titans offense altogether. I think Titans are going to have probably a top 3 offense this year, if not number 1, to be honest with you. Obviously, Julio would play a big part in that. If they get Julio, I think the number 1. If they don't get Julio, I still think they're a top 3 or 4 offense. But yeah, I think they're gonna blow the Jaguars out here too. Whether it's in Jacksonville or Tennessee, I think they're gonna blow them out by at least 2 touchdowns. That's just my opinion, but we'll see how it goes. Then we got Titans at Steelers. It's going to be a tough game. I'm going to give it to the Steelers. The defense is still pretty well intact. Obviously, we've acquired a big piece from them. But yeah, I think they're still going to be able to win this one at home. I think they're going to win it something like 24-14. Yeah, can't win them all, unfortunately. Anyways, and next we got 49ers at Titans. This will be an interesting game, but I think in the long run, I think the Titans are going to get this one. It's going to be pretty back and forth, I think, but Titans are going to win it, I believe, 28-24. Then we get the Dolphins at the Titans. Titans got that one. I think Titans are going to win it by a pretty sizable margin, either 10-14 points. I'm going to give them 10. I'm going to say 31-21 Titans. I think they're going to be able to get to Tua, get to him early, get to him often. At least 3 sacks this game. And yeah, Bud Dupree might go crazy in this one. We'll have to see. Anyways, then we got to end the season, like usual, we got Titans at Texans. I got to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a sweep. I think that the Titans are going to beat the Texans both times. And in this one, they might not win by 20, but I think they're still going to win by 10-14 points. I'm going to give them 14. I think they're going to win this one 34-20. Yeah, I think like I said, the Texans are just in shambles right now. They don't know what to do. The quarterback didn't want to play there, so they started making accusations against him. I'm just going by what I heard. Anyways, yeah, so I think the Titans are going to beat them twice. And then overall, if we go by the record there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. So I'm banking on that we're going to go 13-4 this year. It might be a little bit aggressive. People might think we'll be more in the 11-12 win range. I have a lot of faith in this team. I think the defense got better overall for sure. The offense might have took a step back, but if they get Julio, they're staying the same, or if not, a little bit better. Because I believe Julio is better than Corey Davis even at this stage of his career. But yeah, the offense got a little bit worse, not much, just a tiny amount worse. The defense, though, I think got better with the rookies, with Bud Dupree, with Danico Autry. The pass rush is definitely going to be better. At least that's going to give us an extra 10 plus sacks. I see us with at least 30 this season, but we'll have to see how that plays out. In the offense, it's going to take a step back. Josh Reynolds is not going to get 980 yards and 6 touchdowns, but he still might get 750, and he's going to get paid a lot less. So, I mean, I think that the difference in what they're getting paid equals out to us getting Reynolds over Davis. I don't think we could have afforded to pay Davis 13, 14 million, whatever he got, or Jonnu Smith, to be honest. I think Ferguson is going to fill that role perfectly fine. If we get Julio, great. We'll be like a top 3 offense for sure. If we don't, I still think we're going to be a top 5 just off our firepower alone. We replaced our number 2 receiver, sort of. He'll get pretty decent production, not quite Corey Davis level, but he'll get decent production. Again, the defensive weapons that we got, I think, are much better. The Titans drafted Caleb Farley in the first round. People are saying, oh, he's injury prone, he just got back surgery. I understand that. I see it from both sides. If he wasn't injured, he probably would have been the top 3 pick. He was injured, though. Look what happened with Jeff Simmons. He tore his ACL, came back. Look where he's at. He's probably a top 12 defensive lineman. He's a beast. So, I mean, I'm hoping Farley could take that step. He might not be a beast this year, but I'm hoping in the second year he can grow into that role. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that it all gels well. I mean, I think we have the pieces now on defense. In offense, I think we're missing that one piece. Julio, come to Nashville. Yeah, that would definitely be the last piece we needed, would be Julio Jones. But if not, like I said, I still think we'll be a top 5 offense even without him. I think we just still have enough firepower. Ryan Tannehill is a good enough quarterback to get us 3,700 yards even without him. And I think Derrick Henry, I'll save this for my predictions, so I'm not going to go into that, but I think he's going to have a good season. Pretty good season. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good night. I hope you're staying safe. And most importantly, tighten up.